set when Staff Sergeant Elias Grant stepped off the plane. The first thing he noticed was something he hadn't heard in years: silence. Not the silence of danger he'd lived with overseas, where any quiet moment could explode into chaos. This silence was too gentle, too peaceful. Families around him screamed and cried, clinging to their returned soldiers. But Elias stood alone, hands trembling, staring at the sky like he was waiting for it to fall. He had survived the war, but he didn't feel alive. The drive home felt longer than his entire deployment. Every passing car made his shoulders tense. Every sudden noise sent his heart racing. He caught himself whispering, stay low," words meant for the brothers he left behind. He clenched his jaw until it hurt. They're not here. You're home. But the mind is slow to believe what the heart fears. His mother cried the second she opened the door, wrapping her arms around him with a desperate strength. But Elias stood stiffly, still bracing for impact. Inside, his childhood room was untouched. Posters, baseball trophies, his uniform from before the army. Too many ghosts. He sat on the edge of the bed and stared at his scarred, unfamiliar hands. "Who am I now?" he whispered. No one answered. The nightmares didn't wait long. His mother found him on the kitchen floor at dawn, gasping and drenched in sweat. He didn't remember the dream, only the feeling. He wasn't safe. "Elias," she begged, "please let someone help you." But help felt like defeat. He was strong enough to survive war. How could he admit he wasn't strong enough to survive peace? He ran into Hannah, a childhood friend, at the grocery store. He was clutching canned food with trembling hands, and she stared at him with quiet shock. She hugged him gently, as if she knew he might break. "You made it home," she whispered. For the first time, the silence around him didn't feel dangerous. He didn't tell her everything, just enough for her to see he was drowning. She didn't tee off her cliches or try to fix him. She simply said, "You don't have to go through this alone." One night, after a violent nightmare, Elias punched a hole in the wall. He sank to the floor, sobbing in a way the battlefield never allowed. "I don't know how to live here," he choked out. "I can't turn it off. I feel like I never left." His mother sat beside him. "You survived the war. Now let us help you survive the return." Therapy was the hardest battle of his life. The enemy was invisible, and inside him he learned to breathe through panic, to talk through guilt, to mourn the brothers who didn't come home, and to forgive himself for being the one who did. Hannah went with him to appointments and sat with him through long silences. Slowly, painfully, Elias began to feel his feet on the ground again. One afternoon, volunteering at a veterans center, he met a young soldier who had just returned. The young man's eyes were hollow. He whispered, "I don't think I can make it." Elias felt something spark inside him. He sat beside the soldier and said, his voice steady, "You will. Not because it's easy, but because someone helped me, and now I'm here to help you." In that moment, Elias realized he wasn't just rebuilding himself, he was rebuilding purpose. Years later, Elias became a counselor for returning veterans. He married Hannah. He learned to smile again, real, warm, living smiles. He still had nightmares, but now when he woke up shaking, he felt Hannah's hand on his back, grounding him. He knew he wasn't alone in the darkness anymore. Elias didn't move on from the war. He learned to move forward with it. When a soldier returns, the war doesn't end. It simply comes home with them, quiet, invisible, and heavy. Elias's story is for every veteran fighting battles no one sees, and for everyone who loves them. Healing is not weakness. Asking for help is not surrender. Surviving peace can take even more courage than surviving war. And rebuilding life happens moment by moment, breath by breath, with hands that tremble but never stop reaching for tomorrow. If you or someone you know is a veteran in crisis, please know there is support available. You can connect with people who can support you by calling or texting 988 anytime in the US and Canada. In the UK, you can call 111. You are not alone. Thank you for watching.